we weren't going to do this, but
like
Fish decides. When Fish decides to take a no repeat tour and play repeats, you know what you got to do?
Gotta talk about it.
Give the people what they want. If anybody out there can name that reference, I'll tell you what my pick is for Game 2 of the NBA Finals. So, Fish just played their first repeat of the Spring 2021 tour. Do you think... We love you too, Donald. Thank you for hanging with us. Happy Setbreak, my man.
Yeah, happy Setbreak.
Do you think that was intentional or not?
I feel like Trey was just feeling it and he went there. Or the last cavern has been kind of getting in his head, living rent-free, if you will.
He was on the bus.
Should I go get my small baseball bat too?
I was just outside hitting balls to my my two puppies. It was just the best way to just wear them out completely. They're just like, they're outside on the patio, just done.
Nice.
Yeah, he was sitting on the bus from Charleston to Noblesville, Indiana. Just being like, you could have done better, man.
It's a bit of a stretch.
We'll get him next time.
It's like, it's all that road, once you get over the mountains and suddenly you're like fucking corn.
You start wondering, like, could I have played that last show better? Could I have done it? I don't think he did that.
No, I think he was just like, oh, you know what? We really need to hit it with cavern would be great right now.
Well, so here's the thing. If you look at that set, so it was 80 minutes. So they didn't have much of an option at that point in time, because I kind of get the sense, and this is just my interpretation of it, I want to hear yours as well, but I kind of get the sense that Trey was testing the band towards the back end of Theme from the Bottom and Boogie On to see, can we jam? And nobody really followed him.
Okay,
and then they followed him on Everything's Right.
So I was in the car. So they started to stretch it, or what happened? It wasn't that long, right? It was like 11 minutes, 12 minutes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a like Atlantic City 2013 or Santa Barbara 2014, but like you could hear him like hit muffled chords and essentially be like, just test, can the other guys hear me? And I got that sense in Boogie On as well. I thought that was going to go for a little ride. And then Everything's Right goes for a ride. And so my point in saying all this is I kind of feel like Everything's Right and Mull stretched the set out a little bit longer. And I feel like that slot where Cavern would have been the perfect Bowie slot. But now there's no time. And now we've got the opportunity for Bowie to really dominate in set 2, which is cool.
It's done with disease. Come on,
disease,
It's down with disease.
Yeah, after a set like that, they're going to start doing some down with disease. Mark Douglas is absolutely right. Everything's Right with stretching. That was
17
what
minutes
did you think
for
about
Everything's
that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just full disclosure, I literally turned it on just as Trey was finishing the verse or refrain prior to the first solo Boogie On. All right.
Okay.
So I had to go pick up my kid. I got up from our pre-show, ran downstairs, grabbed my keys, got in the car, drove down the way, got my son, came back, sat down for Boogie On. So I don't know what happened with Theme. Boogie On was cool. Everything's Right was, they roll into it. I was like, okay, we're going to get a jam now. We got a 17-minute Everything's Right, a little bit of a jam. That was great. Esther was cool.
Esther was great.
Cool.
Shortest gap between Esther's since fall 2009. It was wild. It was like a 7-show gap since MSG Night 2. Just really wild to see it there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Buried Alive mid-set.
All bets are off at that point.
Yeah, it's not like it's unprecedented. It just, I've often talked about the rule, the Buried Alive rule, but that doesn't apply here because it's not a show opener. Alaska is cool. I like Alaska. Some people shit on Alaska. Ryan Storm was like threatening to fight anybody on Twitter who hated on Alaska. So props to Ryan. Good for him.
Well, because Alaska, it's in the Kill Devil Falls and Possum Camp. That's Chugel, man.
Yeah, it's just it's great.
There's
It's
not much.
it's hilarious. I love the lyrics to Alaska.
It's a
It's so
really
fun.
funny. I went to Alaska as a young guy in the summer of 2008 to spend 3 months just trying to figure out what I was going to do post college. And that song really kind of defines my experience up there. And every time I hear it, I'm just like, this is also Alaska played a part in one of the greatest jokes the band has ever played on their fan base, the Fuck Your Face show.
Oh yeah.
They're going into the face segment and they build up this crazy noise jam out of Farmhouse of all things. And you think they're going into also Sprach Zarathustra. But that would read 2001 on a set list and it wouldn't look right. So they fake out and go into Alaska, and everybody around me lost their mind. Great moment.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Quite awesome.
Mull. Okay. First
Yeah.
of all, as we said in our text exchange, we totally should have predicted Mull tonight. I think Megan is the one who wrote that.
She did.
I'm gonna mute and cough like crazy for 1 second. So tell me what you thought of Mull.
So I thought, and I'm pulling up Mike's songs on fish.net because I want to get some reference here. So when Mole started, my initial thought was, well, they've already played 555. Like a lot of Mike's songs, it has that like, throbbing groove to it. And then when I realized it was Mole, I was really happy because that was one of my favorite new songs of his of last year. I think it was that and I'm blanking on the title, but they played it at Deer Creek. They debuted it at Deer Creek last summer night too. Someone in the chat tell me what Mike's song debuted at Deer Creek last year.
Passing Through, was it?
It was not Passing Through. It was
It's the other one.
That's the other one. But my point in all of this is like I like Mall. I think it's got a really good hook. I think it's got a good chorus. It feels like it's got Mike-isms, but also like it works in a way where a lot of his songs tend to feel like there's like 6 or 8 songs all kind of pushed together. But last year, The Gorge, they kind of opened it up and it went for a little bit of a ride. And tonight it expanded even further and it sounded like it changed keys. It got a little blissy at times. It got a slightly bit dark. If they hadn't had that Everything's Right, that Mole would be the highlight of the first set for me.
It was a good jam.
Yeah.
I wanted it to keep going. I liked the way it kind of faded out, though. That was kind of neat. Casual Enlightenment, says Will
Thank
Shelton.
you, Will
Thank
Shelton.
you, Will.
Casual Enlightenment. That was his other debut last year at Deer Creek. And that was...
I'd like to hear that again.
It's a good song. It's a groove. But Mole, man, Mole's a sticker.
And then it fades to silence, and then you can hear Trey in the middle of the stage go, "Birds of a feather," and then they play it. Pretty rad.
That microphone, that IEM, I think that's what it's called. It's an in-ear mic.
Yeah.
You can hear it every time.
Oh,
and on the soundboard, it's even more so you can hear it. It's mind-blowing to me that he says it that loud because I've got to imagine it's going in their ears and they can hear. But maybe the reverberation of the crowd is so loud that like you have to actually say it.
Yeah, he's probably speaking loudly because it's how he hears himself. Because it's probably pretty loud right there at that moment, right after a song. Although,
right.
And then, and a good tight but short Birds of a Feather. They could have closed with Birds of a Feather.
Yeah.
They
Let it go maybe 5 more minutes and just build it up to a big peak. But yeah, that would have been a 75-minute set. That would have been fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only 5 minutes. Just give it the old like set ending flourish. That doesn't even have to be longer. Just like, there's my singing for this segment for everybody. But yeah, it was a good set, good times. But Cavern, the seal is broken.
The seal's broken. Who said this? I want to find this in the comments. We'll repost this. Jason Bogdan. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. The first repeat is like breaking the seal. Let's go
Okay,
now
there you go.
and we'll evoke while everything is right. And that's it, man. Everything is right now. Um,
So Down with Disease into Waste
Tweezer
into Tweezer.
into waste. I'm really glad it was an innocuous song. It wasn't like,
Right.
all right,
It's
fine, we'll
just what
just
you
play
were calling
Tweezer
for.
again. It was just nobody's. I mean, people I've heard are paying attention. It sounds like people online are going crazy about it.
I haven't really. I mean, we've been sitting here talking about it. I haven't really been reading the tweets, but I can't wait. It's going to be. There's got to be a lot of excitement.
Do you think that this no repeats thing kind of just came about at some point on Tuesday and they realized some word got back to them that they hadn't repeated a song and that the online community was starting to ask questions, and so they pushed it on Wednesday,
I
and
think it's
then today they were
there's every
just like, we're just
chance.
going to throw something fun in here?
Yeah,
Or do you think
I
that
think
it was a mistake?
there are no mistakes.
It's a good point. It's a damn
The
good
question
point.
is, was it intentional?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I mean, I think
I
it's
like to
just
believe
this.
it
You
is.
could because we can only speculate
Yeah.
um, until Trey joins us on Monday afternoon. Um, we only know that they are just as likely to do it because they were like, oh, everybody thinks we're doing no repeats. Let's just play one, you know, or everybody thinks we're doing no repeats. Can we do that? I don't know. If we just repeat a song, then we don't have to do that. Oh, that's a good point. Right?
Yeah, I mean that thought process of them not really realizing until they kind of are informed, hey, you haven't repeated a song, and then they're like,
Who
I
does
don't really
that?
want to do that.
That's like walking up to the pitcher and saying you got a good no hitter going here.
Man, we got two shows and two sports references from you. This is great. This is good stuff.
Hey man, I know
Um,
Doc Ellis.
you know some Doc Ellis. That was, man, what a game. Yeah, no, that's another good point. Is like the idea of, do they know? If you're Shapiro, if you're Patrick, if you're Jason, and you're standing backstage and you're like, do they
They're
know?
not saying that. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's saying it.
I want to believe the band played a prank on us and just figured this would create fun ripple throughout the community, and now it frees them up to repeat any song that they want. And you have some songs from last weekend.
Right.
um Tweezer,
Which will
obviously,
also be fun.
Twist, Mike song, um Kill Devil Falls. Like, you have songs
Let
that
me
like
stop
had
you
good
right
moments
there.
last weekend that
Mike's
could happen
song
again.
Mike's song is the one, right? Like that's the
That is
one
the
that
one.
I looked at when I was like, what are they going to play tonight? It's Mike's birthday. Well, they play Mike's song. Oh shit, they're not repeating songs? I guess they won't play Mike's song. But now they can.
Now they can. We got a, is that a llama? Is that a sheep? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sheep.
um
Weird.
I thought he was calling for a llama. Like, if they did a fast llama, is that considered a repeat? I guess it potentially would be.
Fast Llama would not be this. Fast Llama is not the same song except on Fish.net.
Is, yeah, it's tracked that way. Of course
Yeah.
they would do that. They'd make it as difficult as possible. Um yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens in the second set, because as we talked about in our pre-show, there were still a lot of songs on the table that if they were played, you wouldn't necessarily think that the band was doing a repeat or a no repeat tour. There's just a lot of songs
It's just
left to
there's a
be
lot of heavy
played.
hitters like Rotation Jam. Sorry, that was on my list for last Sunday, and it's just staring at me. But for real, like You Enjoy Myself and Down with Disease or Drowned, I mean, they could put together three packed set lists of old and newer songs.
That have
Like
not been
we
played
didn't
in the
even,
last 5 shows.
yeah, we didn't even mention this this earlier, but like uh, Dave Steinberg, Zizix, he posted a thing this afternoon, from his own site that he put together 50 most common songs that were not played in the band's history. And first of all, that's only 50 songs, and it's the most common song, so it really doesn't include all of the new stuff like Ruby Waves or
Mhm.
Life Beyond a Dream or Beyond the Sea of Stars or Beneath the Sea of Stars, whatever the you know what
Beneath.
I'm talking about. All of these
I
like
know.
much newer things that they have played, but not this tour. So there's a
I'm
lot
going
of
to read
stuff.
through just a couple of these because some of them will not surprise you and it will not make you think that you're seeing a no repeats tour and now are clearly on the table still, but also have not been played yet this tour. You Enjoy Myself, David Bowie, Runaway Jim, Hydrogen, outside of Mike's would be cool. Split Up in a Melt, The Lizards, Hold Your Head Up, Poor Heart, Rift, Down with Disease, Fee, Fluffhead. I'll stop there because those are the ones with the odds of them not being played in 5 shows go from 12.5% in You Enjoy Myself all the way to 44% for Fluffhead. But from there, you go 44.9% to
Yeah, but
72.5% when you get down to the.
even further down that, not much further down that list, you have songs like that, maybe first set songs, Any Other Night This Weekend, Julius,
Mm-hmm,
Yamar,
mm-hmm.
Lawn Boy, which RJ's calling for earlier, I believe. Wasn't it RJ?
RJ was calling for a long boy.
Yeah, yeah. Gula Papyrus, Silent in the Morning. I mean, these are crazy calls. So any of them are possible.
They're all possible. I'm really curious to see what they come out and do now that if they knew what they were doing, you got to imagine it's a very fun set break right now where they walk backstage.
Had a good
Mike's feeling
laugh.
good. Trey had a good laugh. Fishman was loving it. In the break in Cavern, it's going to be awfully hard on the Beaver happened like 3 or 4 times. Like that was a
That
sense like
was
they're
fun.
feeling it right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I'm,
I mean, I'm pumped. What do you want to hear? Just like run down a list of beyond your top your 5 pick 'em. What would you love to hear in the set, knowing what we know now about this first set?
I want to hear a proper Mike's Hydrogen Weak Pog.
That's a good
I would really
pick.
like to hear, and I think they are exclusive. I do not think we will get both of what I just said and what I'm about to say. A proper David Bowie. So I'm giving you the two. Like, first, total mics is one thing.
So I think they're going to come out and play Down with Disease, and I think it's going to be a really good Down with Disease. I'm totally into that. It just has that vibe tonight,
But
and,
you
and it
asked
not
what I
being played yet
want
in
to
this
hear,
tour.
not what I'm gonna hear.
Well, I'm just clarifying. I'm
Yeah. Okay.
qualifying because I want them to come out, and I would love to hear that hi hat start things out, and it be a spacey, longer intro. I mean, I know I'm asking a lot here because we
Hey.
haven't had a proper David Bowie jam since I want to give it to Vegas '03, but really, when was the last really, really good David Bowie jam? We're
I'm
going
not
to look
even.
this up right now. I'm going to look it up right now because we have a couple of minutes.
Well,
And I
let
just
me
want to
tell all the youngsters in the room about a proper David Bowie jam. I saw
break it down
one.
for us.
I saw one. I've seen a few. I saw one in particular at this very amphitheater
Yes, you did.
on June 19th, 1995. It was not as good as the one I had, the previous David Bowie I had seen, which was a little thing called the Providence Bowie, but it was pretty good. And I really want them to play David Bowie properly again. Have we said that too many times on this?
You can't say it too many times because
Okay.
it's so here are the hard numbers, okay? So fish.net has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 jam charted David Bowies in 3.0 and 4.0. I would argue most of
Wait, did
those
you
should
say
not be on
and
the jam chart.
4.0?
Yeah, they count the Vegas Halloween one as a jammed out version. It slightly stepped beyond for like a half a second. I would argue that none of these should be on the jam chart. Personally, I know no harsh words for our fish.net
Oh,
compatriots, but
no.
I would just argue that none of these are truly a jammed out version. As I'm looking at it, the last version that had a minute to 2 minutes of what the hell is going on here? Notwithstanding the Utica version from 2010, because that was more of a mashup fun version. But the last version to go, oh my God, this is getting a little terrifying, was Charlotte 7/25, 2003. But really, you have to go back. The last version to crack 20 minutes. Can you guess offhand?
Um, I can't. I don't think I can guess. But it's been too fucking long. I can tell you
It's been
that.
almost 25 years.
Right.
12
Okay.
3 1997 was the last version to truly crack 20 minutes. That version features a long intro with teases and a signal. A wonderful upbeat major mode
Signals.
movement develops signals. You got a 5.5 minute beautiful jam. Takes before it cycles back to Bowie. Takes about 18 minutes for the song to really break ground, but when it breaks ground, it's one of the prettiest jams of fall '99.
Oh yeah, it's a big one. I
Before that,
remember this one.
you remember that.
I mean, I wasn't
You've
that old,
got
but I
Bowie
remember.
City's Bowie that year. You've got the Deer Creek Bowie with that comes out of a rotation jam.
Ventura.
Ventura, Bowie City's Bowie. But really, like, you got to go back to '95 when we saw the last like terrifying Bowies. And that is something I would love to see. And I know we're just putting this out in the universe. If they don't
Yes.
do it, it's okay. But that is what I would love to hear right now. Just an old school kind of scary David Bowie with a lot of synthesizer pedals.
Yeah, give me that. Give me that. Oh
Give me
yeah,
that.
and that's the thing is like it doesn't have to be old school. Like he's got all these synth pedals. They've got such new sounds. Let's.
I would love to hear that. And I'd love to hear a Mercury. Those are the two things I'd love to hear in this set.
Well, looking at my pick 5, we still need a Down with Disease, Ruby Waves, Ginseng Sullivan, No Men, and Way. Most of those are possible.
Yeah.
What
No
is it?
Man opening the set could be really cool.
That would be great. No Men into Down with Disease, into Ruby
No Man
Waves.
Disease.
Ginseng
Love it.
Sullivan's out though. I'm sorry, it sucks, but it's out.
Maybe
tomorrow.
Encore. Maybe Encore. Or just first set tomorrow would be nice. We're gonna go back. We're gonna enjoy the rest of Set Break. You all, thanks for hanging with us here in this emergency Set Break pod to talk about the fact that spring 2022 is no longer no repeats.
They broke it.
We're gonna go back. They broke it. They broke the streak. We're gonna go back. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna listen to some Fish, and we will talk with you all here tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Wait, we need music to
Oh, we
cue
need
us
the
out.
music.
Sorry,
Oh, well, I saluted too soon.
because it's Saturday. It's Friday night. See y'all later.